All right, so we're going to look at how we can make a frequency distribution table. This time we're going to be dealing with continuous data here. Okay, so we've got these numbers here, which are written down. All right, and we have to make a frequency table. Okay, so the first thing we need to determine the class width. Remember, the class width is the range divided by the number of intervals. Okay, so remember the range is just the highest number subtracted by the lowest number. So here the highest number is 30.5 and the lowest number is 12.1. All right, so then you divide by the number of class intervals. As I said, the number of class intervals is up to you. Okay, you can use one class interval, you can use two class intervals, but the standard is usually 5, 10, or 15. Okay, depending on how big your data is. So in this case, we're going to use we want to have 5 class intervals. All right, so you can see here, the highest number minus the lowest number. 30.5 divided by number of class intervals, we want to use 5. So 30.5 minus 12.1, we get 18.4. 18.4 divided by 5, we get 3.68. Okay, so always, colleagues, round up, round the numbers up. It's always advisable to round the numbers up. So 3.68, we're going to round it up to 4. All right. So our class width is going to be 4. All right. Yes. Now, once we've determined the class width, then we can just now start making the classes. All right. So what we can do first is we begin with the lower limits of the classes. All right, so the lower limits are going to, for the first class, our lower limit is going to be 12. For the second class, since the width is 4, so it will be 12 plus 4, that is 16. For the third class, our width is going to be 16 plus 4. I'm just adding the lower limit plus the class width. Okay, then I'll make the classes here. So this, what I'm doing here, colleagues, I'm just adding the lower limits of each class, okay, so that I can easily make the class interval. Okay, the third class, 16 plus 4, that is 20. The next class, 20 plus 4, that's going to be 24. The fifth class, the lower limit, 24 plus 4, that's going to be 28. Okay, the sixth class, 28 plus 4, that's going to be 32. Okay, so these are the lower limits for each class here. Let me highlight them, all of these. Okay, so as you can see, our lower limits here for the first class, 12, and we'll say 12 to 15. Since we say the class width is 4, so if you count 12, 13, 14, 15, there are 4 numbers. Okay, the next class is going to be lower limit 16, so the class width is 4, so 16, 17, 18, 19, 4 numbers. Okay, next class, lower limit is 20. Since the width is 4, 20, 21, 22, 20, 20, 21, 22, 23. 4 numbers. Right? Next class, the lower limit is 24. So the class width is 4. So 24, 25, 26, 27. 4 numbers. Okay. Next class, 28. It's going to be from 28 to 31. Again, another four numbers. In the next class, 32, 32, 33, 34, 35, another four numbers. Okay. So now I've made the class intervals. Okay. First, I just started with getting the lower limits first so that I know the lower limit for each class. Once I know the lower limit for each class, then I'll know how each class interval is going to be. Okay. And also one thing you should notice here is the class width. Let me see. Even the upper limits. If you add 15 plus 4, you get 19. 19 plus 4, 23. 23 plus 4, 27. 27 plus 4, 31. Okay, so even the class width, when you make the class intervals, to make sure that you have got the correct class intervals, just check, add each of the lower limits with the class width and add each of the upper limits with the class width. Now, we've got decimal numbers here. So these class intervals are not going to be able to accommodate these decimal numbers, okay, because there are some gaps, okay, like from 15 to 16, there's 15.1, 15.2, 15.3. 19 to 20, there's 19.1, 19.2. There are some gaps in terms of decimal places. So this is where we are now going to introduce the class boundaries, because the class boundaries are going to help us accommodate for these decimal numbers here. Okay, because these class intervals, they cannot account for the decimal numbers. Okay, so that's why now we have to make them into class boundaries. If they were not decimal numbers, we would have just started making our frequency table here. But since they're decimals, so we need to account for them. All right. So what, how we make our class boundaries? Okay. Get the upper limit for one class and the lower limit for one class. Let's say, for example, here 16 and 15. So say 16 minus 15, that gives you 1. Then this difference divide by 2. 1 divided by 2, that is 0.5. Okay. So to make our class boundaries, our lower limits, we're subtracting from 0.5 minus 0.5, and our upper limits, we're going to add plus 0.5. Okay. So these are our class boundaries here now. Okay. When you subtract 12 minus 0.5, you get 11.5. 15 plus 0.5, 15.5. You go to the next class, 16 minus 0.5, 15.5. 19 plus 0.5, 19.5. We come to the next class, 20 minus 0.5, 19.5 here. 23 plus 0.5, 23.5. We come to the next class, 28 minus 0.5, you get, oh, not 28. 24 minus 0.5, you get 23.5. 27 plus 0.5, 27.5. Okay. Come to the next class, 28 minus 0.5, 27.5. 31 plus 0.5, 31.5. Next one, 32 minus 0.5, 31.5. 35 plus 0.5, 35.4, 35.5. Okay, colleagues, so we've made our class boundaries, and now we can make our frequency distribution table. Okay, so we look between 11.5 and 15.5. We have how many numbers? We've got this one, two, three, four, five numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. Frequency here, 5. Between 15.5 and 19.5, no numbers. So no tally mark, frequency 0. Between 19.5 to 23.5, we have 1, 2. Okay, then between 23.5 to 27.5, 0, no numbers. And from 27.5 to 31.5, you've got 1, 2. So you've got 2 numbers here. Okay. And we have now made our frequency distribution table. Yes. So another important point to notice, let's say for example, if there was a number like 15.5 here, okay, since these new class boundaries, as you can see, I've got a 15.5 here and a 15.5 here. So the rule of thumb, colleagues, is in these type of class boundaries, okay, these are usually called the exclusive class boundaries. The lower limit is part of the range, not the upper limit. So if we had a 15.5, we put it in this class here. Okay. If you had a 19.5, rule of thumb again, always look for the class where the number is in the lower limit. So here, since 19.5 is in the lower limit, so you would put it here.